Hi, Elaine here. Today I'll share how to create beautiful patterned covers for your digital planners. I'm still using that same file as in recent videos, but this time we can hide the existing leather look cover. In effect, we're starting from scratch. So toggle off the visibility of those two layers. Next step, to add a shape that we can format into our cover. And then we need the gradient tool. Now I'm not putting a gradient on the cover of the planner, it's just that to do what we need to do, the gradient tool is where to go. So click the gradient tool or use G on your keyboard. Initially, the type of gradient is set to solid, and that's on the context sensitive toolbar at the top. There are various options for the fill available: none, solid, linear, elliptical, radial, conical, and bitmap. And bitmap is what we're looking for. So click that and it takes you out to your file system where you can choose a pattern. So starting off with the fire pattern, and it fills the shape with the pattern. You have on the screen an L shape with 3 points on it. That enables you to manipulate the pattern. So if I drag it back, it makes the pattern smaller. You can also rotate it from here. So you can make that pattern look exactly as you want it to look by scaling and rotating. Since it's the cover of the planner, the next thing I would probably do is add another shape to act as the background for a nameplate. Now by default it remembers the last fill. It doesn't look too great either, but I'm just going to put a solid white fill on that. Then using the move tool, move it to the centre. Then I need to put some kind of title on it. So clicking there and put, let's say back to school. Selecting that, I'll centre it, getting the move tool back again, centre the text as well. If that's all you need, you're good to go. But if you want to know a little bit more, I'm going to change my page. So go into one of these spreads where we had planner rings on it. And repeating the process really, but to show something slightly different. So I'll draw out a shape over on that right hand page, and again applying a pattern fill to it. So G for the gradient tool, and then up to the type, down to bitmap, and this time we'll choose the coffee one. And I would appear to have lost the ability to type there, but never mind, it's coffee, trust me on that. Right, same process exactly. You can scale that, you can rotate that. Now, why am I doing that here? This is to show another feature. Now, the first thing to do is to put that behind the planner rings. So it could actually be a divider. Now, what I'm going to show is if I scale this, so I want it to be half the width, like a bookmark. If I scale that, you can see the fill distorts with it, which isn't really what we want. So let me undo that, put it back. Go back to the gradient tool, and there is an option in the context sensitive toolbar, scale with object. By default that's turned on and you've seen what happens when you use it. But if you turn that off and then go back to the move tool and scale it down to half size, you can see that what's happening is you're seeing the same size of pattern but less of it. So it doesn't distort. Something to be aware of if you are going to scale these shapes. With the scale with object on, it distorts the pattern fill. With the scale with object off, it keeps the same pattern without distorting the fill. And that is how you create the perfect planner cover using a pattern. Just before I recap that, let's have a look at some of the alternatives that I created. And I put these on page 8. And these I've put in a group called alternatives. So starting from the bottom, all of these are free patterns that are available online. So we've got flowers, we've got kind of 80s. That's definitely reminding me of the 80s. And various different options here. So it can look very, very different. But all of these were done in exactly the same way. There's a scary one coming up next. But if you like that kind of thing, a bit gothic, and that's very much back to school. So let's have a quick recap. Source a pattern image. Now check out the description for links to a huge collection of free patterns, thousands of them, literally. Then add a shape for the cover, activate the gradient tool and select the fill type. Set that fill type to bitmap and you'll find that on the context sensitive toolbar. Then select the pattern image to be used as the fill, rotate and scale as required, and you're done. If you want new tutorials and tips and tricks on a regular basis, check out my free training at elainegiles.com/VIP. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss future tutorials. And if you have any requests for specific tutorials, be sure to contact me. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and see you next time.